6 o'clock news starts right now.
He was once charged with capital murder, but a 21-year-old is now getting a plea deal. Today, a Bexar County judge ordered Kyle Phillips to serve a 30-year prison sentence for a lesser charge of murder.
As Daniela Ibarra explains, one of the victim's loved ones feels like the district attorney's office dropped the ball on this one.
19-year-old Jasmine Williams hoped to become a real estate agent. That dream was cut short on July 14th of 2020 when San Antonio police say she was killed inside her West Side home. Police say her 2 kids were there, both under 2 years old. Kyle Phillips is one of the 7 people originally charged with murder. In February of this year, that charge was unexpectedly dropped. The Bexar County District Attorney's Office says the case was reinstated in May, and today, Phillips was given a plea deal for a lesser charge of murder.
Are you entering a plea of guilty because you are guilty of that charge and for no other reason?
Yes, Your Honor.
It includes a 30-year sentence and $2,000 fine. Attorneys for both Phillips and the state say this deal is justice.
We have always thought that our client might have had some culpability, but didn't believe that this was capital murder or that he should have been charged with capital murder in the first place.
From our perspective, this was a victory and one that we're pleased to be a part of.
One of Williams' loved ones was not happy with this plea deal. He says he feels like there's laziness coming from the DA's office and a lack of manpower to properly prosecute.
What's your response to that?
I just disagree. I mean, there was a high level of motivation and desire to achieve a just result within the context of this tragic and horrible crime.
The judge also convicted Phillips of 2 other felonies. Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
The reward is increased for information on suspects involved with the murders of 2 teenagers in 2022. 15-year-old Angel Ray Garcia and 19-year-old Gregorio Cordova Mejia, found dead and shot multiple times at the Union Pines apartments in July of last year. Crime Stoppers raising the reward of $10,000 to whomever has information on the possible suspects. If you do, you can contact the number below, 210-224-7867.
And take a look at these pictures. Do you know who or where this man is? Crime Stoppers also asking for help identifying a man accused of robbing a Dollar General last month on Culebra Road. On July 26th, San Antonio police say this man held the cashier at gunpoint and demanded money and the employee's car keys. He then allegedly took off in the cashier's car. Again, call 210-224-STOP with any information.
A San Antonio police officer accused of injuring a woman last year will not be facing criminal charges. Officer Johnny Hardaway allegedly pushed a woman's head more than once and tackled her, injuring her hip back in July of 2022 in Schertz. Schertz officers confirmed this week they did not file criminal charges against Officer Hardaway since the woman decided to not move forward with prosecution. He's currently suspended for 30 days.
The poet at the center of a controversy now, Neftali de Leon, says he is not ready to talk about why, after only 4 months, he's no longer the city's poet laureate. The Department of Arts and Culture terminated his 3-year contract over his use of racial slurs in a poem that he wrote. So what does de Leon's predecessor as poet laureate think? Jessie DeGollado has her reaction.
4 months ago, there was reason to celebrate. The city of San Antonio had made the always colorful and outspoken Neftali de Leon its newest poet laureate.
I love you, pueblo mío. I love you.
But then in late July, in a poem de Leon had posted on Facebook as a tribute to a late author and columnist, there were racial slurs in Spanish, which he said were meant as a term of endearment. Not hardly, said many of the Latinos who responded. But seeing that no African Americans had commented,
well, let me be the first because I love him.
De Leon's predecessor is poet laureate Andrea Vocab Sanderson, who still remembers hearing the term growing up.
After a basketball game by some young ladies who didn't appreciate the fact that they lost the game.
Yet in response to Sanderson and others asking he apologize and edit his poem, De Leon said to police our language too closely is to stifle our spontaneity and to dampen our creativity. Yet Sanderson says what he wrote had a far different impact.
A visceral and a gut reaction, and for some people may have been triggering.
De Leon acknowledged that to a degree by saying, I do make a blanket apology to anyone that may be offended. Still, Sanderson says, as a poet laureate, they have a responsibility.
As ambassadors of the literary arts, we have to be above reproach with our words. Right. They have power. In every context, our words have power.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
A local family still dealing with the loss of their home because of an early morning fire. As Katrina Weber shows us, fire crews face challenges that went far beyond smoke and flames.
The sight of smoke is what first signaled there was trouble on Clydeville Road. But when San Antonio firefighters arrived in this neighborhood just behind the airport, they found a full-blown fire.
And the whole side of the house was on fire. It's the original house, then there's several additions onto the back.
They believe one of those additions, either a garage or utility room, is where the fire started before 4 this morning. It didn't stay there, though. It burned through 2 cars, the front and back yards, and the house itself.
It was a very stubborn, difficult for us to put out because of the different buildings. The garage where the 2 cars were, the metal roof collapsed on top of that.
Firefighters also had to worry about live ammunition that was set off by the fire. 2 adults, a man and woman, meanwhile, escaped the house on their own, then turned to family who lived nearby for help and comfort.
The people did get checked out. They did get some smoke. They got checked out by EMS and they're fine.
Their home is not okay. Firefighters say the damage was extensive. It looks like there is at least one area that wasn't touched by the fire, a backyard playground that the people here had for their grandchildren. It looks like the fire burned right up to the edge of it. What started that fire is still the subject of investigation. Although they looked to the people and the ruins for clues, fire investigators did not come up with any quick answers. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
It is that time of year again. School zone lights are flashing, and not paying attention in a school zone can really cost you or even cost someone's life. San Antonio police are warning people about speeding in a school zone. The fines start at $200. They go up every 10 miles an hour over the speed limit that you're going. If you drive past a school bus with its stop signs out while it's unloading students, that's a $700 fine. 2 parents picking up their kids from Olmos Elementary have shared some tips for other parents that are picking up or dropping off.
Pretty backed up all the time. We have a lot of people that like to try to speed through here and avoid traffic situations. They'll block the crosswalk.
Have to look in front of you all the time, drive slow.
To reduce traffic congestion, San Antonio police suggest carpooling, and to keep walkers safe, kids should walk with an adult or in groups. To Dallas now, where the county medical examiner there has confirmed multiple deaths, including that of a child, are heat related. The Dallas County medical examiner is looking at 36 other deaths that are suspected to be heat related. Health officials say that could take months to determine. These confirmed cases are just now being reported.
It's absolutely serious. I mean, heat stroke and death are things that happen pretty much every season. Bottom line, it's hot, and it's, people need to do everything they can to stay cool, stay well hydrated.
Dallas saw some slight relief this week, but temperatures expected to soar once again tomorrow.
Check out the weather situation out there. Another day, another record broken. Adam Caskey.
Oh, that's right. We did it, 104, the high temperature today, and that breaks the old record by 1 degree, which was set back in 1969. Our morning low temperature, 79 degrees, a good 4 degrees above average for this time of year. A little bit of activity on authority radar right now, especially off to the west of San Antonio and even some farther to the south. We're going to have a close look at this action, talk about how much longer it's going to last, and a shift in our weather pattern that reintroduces rain chances next week. We're going to dive into that and that tropical moisture in a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. Let's take a look at traffic out there right now. This is the camera at I-35, I-37, that interchange there. You can see it's really slow going as traffic merges off one and onto the other, but no real issues to make you aware of right now.
Just about time for Brian Anderson to be pulling into Tallahassee, Florida on his motorcycle. His last stop along the old Spanish Trail Highway. Anderson started in San Diego more than 2 weeks ago on the journey of a lifetime. Look at all that. Jesse Degollado was at City Hall when he made a symbolic stop.
Fix it up by putting, the windshield. I put spotlights on it.
Brian Anderson will tell you up front.
I just have to say this about being a motorcycle rider. I don't like freeways.
Even on a machine this powerful. A Honda Valkyrie made for the open road.
Freeways are bad, country roads are good.
Anderson certainly has seen his share of country roads since leaving San Diego, California, following what's left of the old Spanish Trail Highway.
First of all, it has lots of romantic and historical appeal.
Wild West shootout, so to speak, in Tombstone, Arizona, to the reverence and beauty of San Antonio's missions. The bells of San Fernando Cathedral seem to herald what was a symbolic moment for Anderson. The OST boulder in front of San Antonio City Hall for nearly 100 years means he's halfway to St. Augustine, Florida.
It'll be a good day when I hit that and hopefully inspire others to take the same trip.
Covering 3,000 miles, it's been his longest one so far for someone who'd led a much different life.
I played principal trumpet in 6 symphony orchestras up and down California.
Now retired, Anderson is doing what many wish they could. In trying to avoid I-10 and Highway 90 that swallowed up much of the old Spanish Trail Highway, Anderson is taking a much more scenic route.
A lot of these roads have a charm and a quaintness that's unequaled.
Like that stretch of the old Spanish Trail east of San Diego, Old Highway 80 East.
The county has kept it upgraded and, usable, so it makes a very pleasant trip.
Along the way, he says, are places like San Antonio's Missions that you can't just drive by without stopping.
Because history is alive, history can be visited, and history can be experienced.
This bench along Fredericksburg Road is another reminder that San Antonio was actually the headquarters of the old Spanish Trail, having championed its construction back then. Now known as the National OST 100 Association, based in San Antonio, it's been part of the centennial celebrations nationally, including this motorcade of vintage vehicles in Mobile, Alabama. For Anderson, it's been a personal journey. By hitting the old Spanish Trail, he's learned.
Don't let life pass you by, and don't let history, be lost. Enjoy the sights and sounds wherever you are.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
We can all take more of the scenic route, right?
That'd be great.
Still to come here today, and a KSAT explains San Antonio namesakes, Madla, Wurzbach, Tobin, and more. Who were these people? We share the stories behind the names you see in so many places around town. KSAT explains San Antonio namesakes is still to come here on the news at 6.
Back, but better than ever. San Antonio College's journalism program has returned from hiatus, but the program needs more students. Tonight on the Night Beat, what SAC instructors say the program has to offer for people who don't want to be a journalist. It's coming up on the Night Beat at 10.
Let's take a look at an issue out here. We saw from our TransGuide camera, you can see that smoke off there in the distance. This is in South Bexar County, I-37 at 281. That's the location of the camera here. There is a fire burning there. We're trying to gather some more information about what exactly is happening, but this is kind of a good view, Steve, because you can see how green the trees are there at the top, but down on the ground, that's where everything is brown and dry, which we've been talking about for days, the fire danger that's all throughout this area.
Absolutely. And as you look off in the distance, you can also kind of see just the charred ground out there, the black ground, and it actually looks like as 37 and 281 winds around that maybe traffic is backing up there a little bit. You have to wonder about visibility on the roadways with all this smoke across. We're trying to get more information on exactly what's happening here, but it's where 37 and 281 split in South Bexar County.
And Adam, we just keep talking about that, how dry it is out there. I know some people were lucky enough to see some rain, but I doubt it was much.
No, not very much. And most of it was very far south of San Antonio, which we'll take whatever we can get. But this just goes to show what can happen once that upper level heat high moves away a little bit. It's still hot here, but it opens the door for some showers or rain-making energy. Now, there's more record heat tomorrow, but then a shift in our weather pattern looks like it's going to happen next week, and that gives us a shot at rain and some tropical moisture. Let's start with temperatures. Tomorrow is going to be the hottest day so far this year. We're predicting 107 for the afternoon high. That would be a record by 3 degrees. And then notice the trend, still triple digits through the weekend, but by next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, we see those high temperatures drop down into the upper 90s. That's with that shift in our weather pattern. So let's talk about the pattern. First of all, with what's happening on the radar right now. Unfortunately, nothing around San Antonio or surrounding communities or surrounding counties, really. But that boundary that moved through yesterday, that very weak cold front, but enough to kickstart the atmosphere, it's far south of town right now. So there's some of those showers, very broken in nature, but good little downpours from Dimmitt through LaSalle, McMullen counties, and then points southward as well. And even closer to Corpus Christi, some very heavy rainfall. 12-hour rainfall estimates by the radar. These very dark green colors, those isolated pockets, are between a ½ inch and an inch of rain estimated to have fallen. And it's pretty much tapering off now closer to the Rio Grande, but we still have a few out there that are going to be brief in nature, quick splash and dash, and all of this action comes to an end by and especially after sunset. Here's the big picture with our weather pattern. The big blue H, it's over the four corners, so it's not parked right overhead. That's one reason why we actually can pop a few showers the past couple of days. This is going to be pushing northward and eventually into next week be over Iowa and Missouri, so far north of San Antonio, which opens the door to a disturbance to come in off the Gulf of Mexico. And it looks like by this weekend, we'll have a disturbance start to develop, a little ripple in the upper level flow, start to develop around Cuba, move into the Gulf of Mexico this weekend, and by early next week start to throw some rain on shore. And by the way, the Hurricane Center is watching this for a 20% chance of developing into a tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm thereafter. It's a very low-end chance, but you got to remember, the Gulf of Mexico right now, it is unusually warm, that water, and if something can really develop, then that warm water is like jet fuel. But right now, we're not expecting anything too organized. And actually, if it stays unorganized, that increases our rain chances. We want it to be unorganized and throw that rain everywhere rather than being a tightly wound up system. So here's what we know so far. This weekend, that rain-making energy enters the Gulf. By Tuesday and Wednesday, it moves inland. The big question, where inland? Anywhere, somewhere from Brownsville to Louisiana is where it could be right now. Still too many question marks. Remember, we're trying to predict a system that hasn't even developed yet. 104 our high temperature today. That's 51 100-degree days so far this year in our 18th consecutive. 92 degrees by 10 o'clock midnight. We're at 86, turning humid overnight. Tomorrow, 78 in the morning, but 107 by the afternoon. That would be a record-breaking day, of course. And we're going to have another update on that potential tropical moisture at 6:45.
I'm looking at 97. That's looking pretty good.
It does, yeah, compared to 107,
right?
for sure.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, UTSA has a tradition, and it all comes down to numbers.
Yeah, single digit. These guys want to be a single digit player because it's voted on by your teammates and coaches, and it simply just means you are the best of the best at UTSA. Coming up, a local from Smithson Valley, Trey Moore, got a single digit jersey this season. Plus, in high school football, it's time to preview the Piper Warriors. Coming up.
With this being our third year, I mean, it's very exciting. It's been a challenge, but I have no regrets coming here, starting a program. You have a blank canvas.
Piper head football coach Nick Rogers is excited for his Warriors as they enter their third season in high school football in big board sports. Playing for head coach Jeff Traylor and the UTSA Roadrunners football program is pretty darn cool. Earning a single-digit jersey makes it even better. Teammates and coaches vote on the single-digit numbers, and they go to players who embody the program's culture while performing top-notch on the field. This season, running back Kavorian Barnes and linebacker Trey Moore are just two of the 18 players voted to rep the single-digit.
It was exciting just to be held as someone who is, upholding the brand and the culture here at the 2-0. I'm blessed to be seen that way by the teammates and the coaches.
It's exciting because they're two wonderful kids. Trey right here from Smithson Valley and
Obviously, Key is from St. Augustine, an East Texas kid, but great spirits and really good football players.
You know, the way I was raised and the way I was brought up, just kind of also being a Christian, just how I do things. I'm more of a guy that leads by example. I don't really try to say too much. If there's things that need to be said, then I will say things, but I really just try to lead by example. And my teammates and my coaches have seen that, obviously, and they respect me for that. So, you know, it worked out for me.
UTSA is a little over 2 weeks away from their regular season opener, September 2nd, at the Houston Cougars. Let's take you to Piper High School to hang out with the Warriors as we continue our big game coverage previews, led by head coach Nick Rogers. The Warriors went 2-8 overall last season, their first varsity campaign, and they finished 2-4 in District 13 5A Division II. The Warriors have 22 players returning, 11 on each side of the ball. Dave Campbell's Texas Football predicts the Warriors will finish 4th in 13 5A D2, which will give them the 4th and final playoff spot. On top of all that, this year marks the first senior class, and those players are pumped up as they work to leave on a high note.
It's a weird feeling knowing that you're the top of the class. I mean, we're seniors now. It's our last year to do anything. We really got to make it a big year for us, and we've got a lot of traditions going on at the school. Like, we're starting to paint our parking spots, and we got all types of stuff planned out for the year. We're just trying to set traditions and set standards that we want to have go on for the rest of Piper's history.
It's a great feeling. I'm excited to really lead the younger groups in the classes and really show them what Piper football is all about. You know, just bring a lot of traditions this year and hopefully start them off for years to come.
The Piper Warriors will open their season on the road at Leander Glen Friday, August 25th at 7 p.m.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
After a day off yesterday, the Houston Texans went back to work today, and they did so with the Miami Dolphins, holding a dual practice at the Methodist Training Center. The Texans and Miami will go at it again tomorrow, take Friday off, and then play preseason games Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, overall today, I feel like it was an effective practice on both sides. I think we all got really good work, offensively, defensively. Guys made plays, things to learn from. So we got what we needed out of today's practice, and looking forward to tomorrow, just getting even more work.
Houston will host Miami 3 p.m. Saturday at NRG Stadium.
All right. Thank you, Larry.
You got it.
KSAT Explains is next.
Want to give you an update now on a breaking news situation that we see clearly from TransGuide. This is I-37 at US 281 where they split. You can see the traffic is backing up now. We kind of saw the first indications of this. We've also seen a second location of a grass fire. You can kind of see the dark burned grass off to the right side of the highway there. There was a fire truck out there moments ago. I believe they've moved further off where you see some of the smoke out there.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe that smoke is lessening just a bit from the first time we checked in on that. Hopefully that is the case, as we know how dry it is out there. We know the fire danger is extremely high right now. We're still trying to find out exactly how much area is burned, how traffic's being affected, what might be going on. As soon as we get further information, more detail, we'll be sure to bring it to you.
I know it's happened to me. Have you driven by a building, a park, a street, and thought, I wonder where that name came from? There are several San Antonio names you see over and over across the city.
So it got us asking, who are these people? What did they do that was so significant? Here's KSAT Explains San Antonio namesakes. Tobin, Modla, McAllister, Wurzbach. Who were they? To help us answer that, let's tell you who this is. Tell me your name.
David Green.
And what's the title of your book?
Place names of San Antonio and surrounding counties.
He's an orthopedic surgeon by trade and a lover of trivia and history by trait.
I was on the faculty of the medical school for 8 years, and my office was on Floyd Curl Drive. And for 8 years, I asked people who was Floyd Curl, and nobody could tell me.
That curiosity launched years of research for his book. Floyd Curl Drive is one of the main roads running through the medical center on San Antonio's northwest side. So who was Mr. Curl, or rather, Reverend Curl?
Turns out he was a Methodist minister. He chaired the first meeting when some businessmen and medical people got together and said, let's build a medical center. And the first building out there was Methodist Hospital, and so they named the only street in the whole medical center for Floyd Curl.
San Antonio has no shortage of streets bearing someone's name, but there are two that tend to raise a lot of questions, and not just about their namesakes.
People always wonder why we have two Wurzbach roads. Well, it's a great story.
William Wurzbach and Harry Wurzbach were brothers. William, the oldest, he was a Texas congressman from 1895 to 1897.
In 1904, William Wurzbach and his father-in-law, Gustav Schmelzer, bought 1,400 acres of what is now the medical center.
The dirt road that once led to Wurzbach's home became Wurzbach Road. And yes, Wurzbach Parkway. From Ingram Road to Lock Hill Selma, it's Wurzbach Road. Then from Lock Hill Selma to O'Connor Road near I-35, it's Wurzbach Parkway, both named for William.
So, where does Harry Wurzbach come from?
He becomes the first Republican elected to Congress from Texas since Reconstruction.
He had served in the Spanish-American War and was very involved in veterans organizations, so he's much beloved for that reason.
Of issues like civil rights, he voted for an anti-lynching bill, for instance, which was an act of great courage on his part, certainly.
People wanted to do something for Harry, so they went down to city council and lobbied to get a road named for Harry.
People were upset because there was already a Wurzbach Parkway, and they thought they'd be confused.
They lost, and it is confusing.
A giant building downtown bears the name of a giant San Antonio legend.
Henry B.
Henry B.
The Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center.
Henry B. Gonzalez is one of the most significant San Antonians, I would argue.
He was in Congress for more than 30 years, but he started out in San Antonio City Council.
Then Gonzalez became the first Mexican-American elected to the Texas Senate in 1956, and the first Mexican-American from Texas elected to U.S. Congress in 1961.
Incredible dedication to attacking and speaking out against segregation of Mexican Americans in the 1950s.
He was seen as a person who cared about people no matter their station.
His real claim to fame was when they had the big banking savings and loan scandal.
He upset a lot of people, but the people who didn't like him said at least he's trying to get to the bottom of the crisis and make things better for everyday San Antonians.
Another name you see over and over, McAllister. Walter McAllister was mayor of San Antonio from 1961 to 1971. He was instrumental in helping expand San Antonio College.
There's Mayor McAllister with the president of the Conservation Society, Mrs. Brooks Martin, or Pinky Martin as she was known, and of course the famous Congressman Henry B. Gonzalez. They're all smiling here, which is a little unusual because actually the Conservation Society fought Mayor McAllister for most of his tenure in office because they were against the highway that was going to be built through Brackenridge Park.
But he had the vision that we needed a road from downtown to the airport, which is 281, and it bears his name.
Eventually it was built because of the Conservation Society's opposition. The city was unable to use federal funds, so it did it with state and local funds.
Sometimes it's called McAllister Freeway to honor him, and sometimes, at least initially, it was called McAllister Freeway because some folks resented that that road plowed through their front yards and their backyards, and so they said he should get credit or discredit.
Now from one name to many, the Tobin family.
The Tobin family they were huge philanthropists in San Antonio.
John W. Tobin, who was mayor during one of the great periods in San Antonio history, the time the Conservation Society was founded in the 1920s, was a great period of growth for the city.
When they built Almost Dam, when they had a big flood downtown, and he was instrumental in doing that.
Mayor Tobin's nephew was Edgar Tobin. His story is on display at the Whitty Museum.
Edgar Tobin, and he was a World War I ace pilot, came back and started an aerial photography company.
But they were really not a wealthy family. And Edgar Tobin's the one that created this aerial surveys and created a mapping company that all the oil and gas companies of the day needed to have these Tobin maps. So that's where the family fortune really came from.
Edgar's wife, Margaret, had a love for art, theater, and symphony.
And she started the San Antonio Symphony in 1939.
She passed on that passion to their son, Robert L.B. Tobin, who the Tobin Center is named after.
Robert was a born collector. He probably has the biggest collection of theater arts in the entire world, and that's now known as the Tobin Collection of Theater Arts, which is housed at the McNay Art Museum today.
So when you think of something like the Tobin Center, you think of the arts because these are the people that help create some of our foundational arts organizations.
Education is the legacy of our next name, Frank Modla Jr.
We're standing right now in the Senator Frank Modla building on campus.
The campus of Texas A&M San Antonio.
His major dream was to bring a public university to the south side of San Antonio. And he labored literally for years to do this, to get this support.
Modla served in the Texas House and Senate from 1972 to 2006. He helped bring the Toyota plant to San Antonio and redevelop the old Kelly Air Force Base. But he didn't live to see his dream for a Southside university become reality. He died in a house fire in 2006. A&M San Antonio became a standalone university in 2009.
We view him as an iconic figure on our campus, and our campus colors are silver and black and what we call Modla Maroon. He was just really a constant voice for the people of this area.
And those are just a few San Antonio namesakes in a city full of so many stories to tell.
A lot of people don't want to read a history book or hear about a historical event, but if it's in a place or a place name, the park is named, the street is named, the building is named, then it's part of your regular everyday life. It's not this separate category of history, it's just part of life. And it connects you to people who were there before.
Anything we missed?
Oh yeah, we missed about 990 of these things.
The name of one of our interviewees might have sounded familiar, Dolph Briscoe IV. He's the grandson of the former Texas governor, Dolph Briscoe Jr. So see, no shortage of stories around here. Nope. To check out all of our KSAT Explains coverage, scan this QR code or find us on the KSAT YouTube page. We'll be right back.